Anthropic has released Sonnet 5. This is the first Sonnet upgrade since Sonnet 4.6, and they're making some very bold claims. It's about Sonnet 5, a much better Sonnet model that uses agentic systems, and the terminal has arrived. What they claim is this: it performs close to Opus 4.8, but it's said to be much cheaper than Opus 4.8. We'll take a look at this right away. What is Sonnet 5? How powerful is it? How much does it cost? And when do we actually need to use it? I'll try to explain Sonnet 5 to you in detail. Now we're on the page. This is the official Anthropic page they published for Sonnet 5. First, we'll look at the numbers. As I said, in the AI era, all models are now moving towards agentic systems. Sonnet 5 also takes a more agentic approach. Now we can look at the differences between Sonnet 5 and Sonnet 4.6 like this. There's a jump from 58% to 63% in agentic coding, and it's actually not that different from Opus. As you know, Opus is at 69. In another benchmark for agentic coding, it shows 80%, which is up from 67%. Opus, on the other hand, is 82.7 here, so the difference is very small. In multidisciplinary reasoning, that is, reasoning across multiple disciplines, it's gone from 34 to 43% and from 46 to 57% again. Here, in the humanities last exam, Opus seems much smarter without using tools. But when they use tools, we see that both have very similar reasoning. So it's really close to Opus in many areas. In computer use, it's up to 81.2, while Opus is 83.4, and in knowledge work, it's 1615. Oh, it's surpassed it here. It surpassed Opus, reaching 1618. This is really interesting. They say the model has also improved behaviorally, and especially in security scans. Sonnet 5 behaves much better than Sonnet 4.6, or that undesirable behaviors are much less frequent. Sonnet 5 is available on all plans right now. It's the default model on the free plan and the pro plan. At the same time, it's also active for Max Plan, Team Plan, and Enterprise users right now. You can also experience it in Claude Code and on the Claude platform, so it's integrated everywhere now. It's open now. Now let's get to the price. Here, the input is $2 per million tokens, and the output comes in at $10. This introductory price is valid until August 31st. After that, it will go up to $3. It will be $3 to $15. $3 input and $15 output for Claude Sonnet 5. Now for Opus, the price is $5 per million input tokens and $25 for output. So even the paid version of Sonnet is 60% cheaper. And this shows us that, actually, we now have a very smart model that can handle many tasks more cheaply without needing the heaviest processing. Until now, there wasn't really an option to do all of this. You either had to use Opus or turn to other models entirely. Now Sonnet is filling that gap. Now let's move past that. Actually, there's something else here. Let's look beyond these numbers. What happens during operation? The cost. Let's talk about that, because things change a bit here. Why? Now there's this effort level. The one we use in Opus. They've provided the same thing for Sonnet as well, but in Sonnet you can run it at low, medium, or high effort. Low effort. When you run it, Sonnet 4.6 performs better than Sonnet 5. When you set both to low, that is really interesting. But Sonnet 5 is cheaper. You can see it here. It's a very interesting situation. When you set Sonnet to medium, it gets better. Right here. This is Sonnet 4.6, this is Sonnet 5, and this is Opus. But Sonnet? When you set Sonnet to high, it costs the same as Opus. In that case, using Opus makes more sense. There's a strange logic here, as you can see. It's based on effort level, but at the low level, the performance is lower. By the way, it's much cheaper than 4.6. If you look at the graph here, it's much cheaper. When we go from medium to high, the performance is okay. But this time the price became as high as Opus. That's what happened. So there's something odd here. Also, as you see, Sonnet 4.6's performance is higher than Sonnet 4.6 high. It's actually good to see these things. Even at extra high, it doesn't match Opus in performance, but it does in cost. So, for heavy tasks, Opus still seems to be the logical choice. So this is very important here. Computer use is also here. It generally looks better in every computer use case. Yes, but in agentic search, Sonnet isn't always better in performance. You need to understand this nuance well. It's a bit complex. Now let's stop talking and start the test. I'm opening a Claude code. I opened it in the terminal. Let's select our model here /model. Is Sonnet here? Sonnet 4.6, let's refresh. Let me update it. I opened it from here. I opened Sonnet 5 here. I'm giving it a task. I'm saying create a test, then let it fail repeatedly and find the bug. It's running now, as you can see. You can adjust the level of Sonnet 5 from here as well. You can adjust it. Ultracode is also in Sonnet 5. It's in max, it's in extra, it's in high. Effort medium is there. It goes all the way. We just did it on low. Let's switch to ultracode. Let it really fly. As you can see, they did it this way, and how much was the expenditure? Not here. My apologies. I saw 2,500 tokens. That's what I saw just now. Let's see. Usage. Sorry, they spent 57,000 tokens. Input 57,000. Output was 333. Okay. Now let's talk about safety here. As you can see, it did the test. If you ask what happened, it did the test. For such a test, the runtime is a bit long compared to Opus. It's longer, but it's much cheaper. To run, really. That's also valuable. Now we've come to this. We can't not talk about safety. Regarding safety, it hallucinates much less. It gives better answers. It avoids answering bad things, harmful things. But of course, against cyber attacks and cyber protection, it's not at the level of Opus or Mythos. That's another situation you can see here. Mythos is much better here. This is Sonnet 4.6, this is Sonnet, this is Opus, and this is Mythos. Now that we've explained the model, you'll want to try it out and test it to see exactly where it fits into your work. But basically, what I can say about this is, you don't always need Opus. So you can give lighter tasks like information retrieval, scanning, and research to Sonnet. You'll get even better performance for 60% cheaper than Opus. And clearly this model was really trained for these things. So you need to work with them as complements than models. But for processes like deep calculation, analysis, and building, I'd say stick with Opus 4.8. Because in terms of cost, when you have Sonnet do that work, the cost goes up even more. So research, content preparation, these kinds of tasks, your daily tasks, are for Sonnet. Compared to Sonnet 4.6, Sonnet 5 is ahead anyway, but for other deep tasks, we're still on Opus 4.8. If I think of other examples, we'll try them on Sonnet 5 in the coming days. I wanted to share this. Thanks a lot for watching. See you.